Miss your voice, miss your smile, everything about you worth the while. Always wonder.
My name is Robert Nguyen. I am humbled and honored to have been asked to facilitate this today. We come here today to pay tribute to the life of Mike DiCioccio. The world lent Mike to us for a short time. During that time, he left an imprint in our lives, and that is the reason we have come together here today. We give thanks for his life and the experiences that he shared with us. There's an old saying, what the caterpillar perceives as the end, to the butterfly is just the beginning. As Mike spreads his wings to fly free, we are left with feelings of loss, grief, and pain, especially for a life that ended too soon. Everyone here has had our lives touched by him, and for some others, your lives have been totally transformed by having had him in yours. Mike's life certainly did matter. We acknowledge today that Mike's death has fundamentally changed things, and life is no longer the same without him here physically on this earth. No, life will not be the same, nor should it be. We come here today to commemorate Mike DiCioccio and remember the impact he had on our lives. As I went through Mike's social media, I was trying to find things that would represent him. And about 2 years ago, he posted something that he had written. It may not necessarily be safe for work to hear this, but he wrote about hats. And I'm going to read his poem to you. You know you can do all sorts of shit with a hat. Besides shade the sun or your bald spot, you can let people know where you're from. You can advertise. You can hide any scar from your eyebrows up. You can cover a bad hair day. You can float with it in the Navy. Cover. You can pull it over your eyes and sleep. You can carry 6 apples or a lot of change. You can customize it, gift it, and steal it back because it's your hard work. You can cover one boob of an adult woman. You can hide your boner afterwards. Perhaps this is an icebreaker. Mental note. His words. But you can't take the middle out, because then it's a visor. And that ain't cool, man. It never was. Mike D. When I read that, it spoke a lot to me about who he was. Mike very much was like that hat. He provided shade. He kept you protected. It was used, you always knew where you stood with him. A hat as advertisement. Scotland Yard was his second home. That's where he found his joy. That's where he found his joy. In Kayla. Hats also hide scars. I'm sure he went through a lot in his life, and he still smiled through it. If you were having a bad hair day, you cover it with a hat. He made you look good even when you didn't feel it. And if that hat helps you float, he lifted you up when you were down. He made you feel relaxed. If that hat holds apples, he was there to lend a helping hand to you. If that hat's customized, you know that he was his true self. And if that hat covered up a boob, you knew he protected his lady, Cupcake Kayla. And well, if that hat also covered up, you know, I guess he always put his best assets forward. I can't speak for that. But then he finishes and says, you know, no to visors. Why? Visors have an empty center. To him, no one should ever feel like they have a void in the middle. It took him over 4 decades, but he finally found his center. Kayla filled that void. Even though we feel pretty empty right now, Mike would tell us to fill that void and fill it with happy memories that we have of him. For now, sure, it's okay to cry. It's important to process our grief. And when the time is ready, you fill that center with all that he gave you. Cherish those happy memories and keep him alive forever in your hearts. At this time, if you'd like to share a memory, something from your heart about Mike, you're welcome to come up and share. And you can take your mask off when you speak through here as well. And please speak through the mic.
Hi everybody, I'm Kayla's sister Lindsay. Just wanted to thank everybody for making the drive out today. I truly thought I would be making this speech at Kayla and Mike's wedding, not at his memorial, so this is a little tough right now. Mike was such a fucking badass guy, and he always told me, Lindsay, pursue your dreams, pursue your dreams. And I'm sure you guys saw the fundraiser that we did for Kayla where Jeff and we were hustling our cheesecakes. And like, it kept us so busy, and I'm so thankful because I wasn't able to process everything, but it really made us realize what we were capable of. And now we're in the process of getting our own business started right now, and this is because of Mike. Mike pushed us. Mike said, Lindsay, your fucking cheesecakes are badass. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm thankful that he was just such a great guy to Kayla. You know, not many people have the opportunity to find that love. And Diane, Joe, you guys raised such an awesome guy, such a good-hearted guy, and I want to thank you for that. And Kayla, look at all these people here for you, dude. You have such a huge support system. And no, it is okay to cry. You're going to have bad days. No matter how many times we tell you it's going to be okay, it's not going to be okay for a while. It's not. But you have so many people who love you and will never give up on you. I love you.
Hey, I'm Kayla's mom. And I remember when Kayla first told me about Mike. And first thing she said, Mom, he's older. I go like, how old? And she's like, 40s. I go, oh God, Kayla, come on. But meeting Mike, it was like, the first time he came over, I think it was Thanksgiving, he fits in so well. And I'm a bit of a smart ass, if you know me, and people that know me know that. And he gave it back to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, I think I've met my match. I love this guy already. I mean, he can do no wrong in my eyes. The age ended up not being at all, well, it was in the beginning, okay, you know that. But I fell so in love with Mike, and I fell so in love with Kayla with Mike. And I know, Kayla, I know it's sad, And I was hoping that, you know, she was going to get married and have kids, and I kind of felt like she was going to, and that she was close to that, because Kayla, it was the furthest thing really from her mind, but it was the first time that I've ever seen her truly, truly happy with someone. And Mike, probably one of the most amazing guys, and artistic, and just, I got him, he got me, he got Kayla, we all got each other, and he was definitely a part of our family. So, like Lindsay said, you guys raised, Diane and Joe, you guys raised an amazing son. We loved him and still do, and I will never ever forget our holiday or anything with him. He was a great guy, and I love Mike, and I miss him, and I just miss seeing him I just miss him. That's all.
My name is Joe. I'm Mike's brother. I just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for making this such a beautiful ceremony. Thank you for letting us, my family, into your lives, into this part of his life. It really is beautiful to see. It's profoundly touching to see that you got to share time with the same Mike that we know. He truly was a beautiful person. I looked up to him in many ways, in many ways. I think about all of our time together, and I was fortunate enough to have the time that we had together. I can't remember maybe more than a handful of bad memories. There was none. He was just pure love. There was just so much love, and it had to express itself in many ways. His love for Kayla, his love for life. He just lived it and squeezed every ounce. Thought I was going to be able to make it. I'll keep trying. He squeezed every ounce out of it. And that's what I admire most. No matter what he did, whether it was a motorcycle or not, it was full throttle. And we're lucky enough to have known him. We're lucky enough to have that experience. Just bring it with us. Carry it with us for the rest of our lives. Take the love and make it better. Remember it. Let it grow. Everything he wrote, everything he created, all of the lives he touched. So there's more than a few of you in this room. His artwork on your bodies. Whether he wrote it for you, drew it for you, tattooed you himself. It's just such a perfect example of who he was. It'll take time to process. On behalf of my family, I just wanted to say thank you again for letting us share this with you. This really is profound. We want you to know how much we appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Jennifer. I am Mike's sister-in-law, his wife. And, you know, we got to see, obviously, the same Mike that you guys did, but in addition to that, you know, he was godfather to our youngest son, and we got to see maybe a little bit of extra goofiness that maybe you all didn't get on the regular. But you know, my memories of Mike are just this love and this pure joy, and we're so fortunate that, you know, he and Kayla came out to New York last Christmas, and we had that holiday to spend together. You know, anytime he came over, he would just come in, and he was not there for more than 5 minutes. If he would wrap me in a giant bear hug and be like, "Oh, sister, I love you. How are you?" We spent many a night playing rock band and singing songs and just being silly, and he was just a light. He was an absolute light, and just this bundle of pure joy in our lives, and we're all better for having known him, and we're going to miss him terribly. But we will, you know, I see a lot of him in our youngest son, and we'll certainly do our best to keep his memory alive. Thank you all for coming. It's really great to see just how loved he was. It's a comfort to the family. Thank you.
I'll try not to cry too hard. I just want to thank you guys so much for coming out. And, oh gosh, I mean, endless memories of Mike. I got blackmail on Mike. When I first met Mike, both of us, we were somehow just drawn to each other, We couldn't explain it. And we both got out of like a long-term relationship, and we were like fighting so hard at the beginning to fight to not stick it through, you know, and we just kept coming back to each other no matter what. And the fact that we actually fell in love with each other more and more every day, instead of going through the whole honeymoon stage and then all of a sudden you can't stand each other. We actually genuinely fell in love with each other more and more every single day. And the first night we met, we were just like, we actually put pillows between us, like a wall of china, trying to like not be in a serious relationship. And we tried so hard, but we just couldn't stay away from each other. And he was just so inspiring, and touched so many lives, including myself. And he would always ask himself, why can I hold a job, like a regular job, like 9 to 5, and always ask himself that. And I said, because you're an artist. And I'm completely opposite. I'll work 3 jobs, 5 jobs just to make ends meet. But Mike always followed his dreams and his passion, and he was full of passion in everything he did, including friends, family, dogs, our babies. He was such a passionate person, and he genuinely cared. And that is so hard to find in anyone these days, is them to actually genuinely care about someone, that a total stranger. And that was Mike, and he inspired me to stop obsessing about just cruising by and just getting by life and following my dreams. And all of a sudden I turned to Martha Stewart over the quarantine. I'm gardening, I'm like doing woodwork and all this, and Mike's like filming me and sending the videos to my mom. I had no idea he was sending the videos to my mom. He wasn't trying to win brownie points. He was just generally, he did, but he was just generally actually caring and just going out of his way and really, really cared. And when we went out to New York to visit you guys, we only went to the city one time. He just said, I just want to be with my family. And that's all we wanted to do, was spend time with you guys and the nephews, and just loved you guys so much. And wanted to come out there, 3 times, 5 times a year. And he was trying to make it happen. And I remember every week we look at each other and say how lucky we are to have met each other. So lucky. So lucky. And I just want to thank him for the best 2 years of my life. I wish it was so much longer. I wish we grew old. I told him in the hospital, you're not going to go like this. We're going to grow old together, have saggy balls and titties dragging across the floor. And unfortunately, luck wasn't on his side. And I know he's watching over us. So please, whatever you learn from Mike or whatever inspired, please take that into heart and follow your dreams and your passions. Because there's no life like fucking Mike's. He was the one and only Mike. Mike D. He was the most amazing man I've ever met in my life. And I'm trying every single day to try to just get by without my soulmate, without my soul, without my heart. And thank you, Diane Joe, for raising such an amazing son. He was so amazing, touched so many lives. I didn't realize how many lives he touched after he passed away. I just when people reach out to me and just tell me the stories about Mike, like their personal story, and it just touched me so much, so much. And yes, I don't want to keep rambling on, I'll just keep crying, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming, and I love you, Mike. You will always, always, only be my one and only. And that's that. That's that.
Hi everybody, I'm Cozy. I was just grabbing Kayla. I didn't know I was actually gonna grab the mic and talk, but now that I'm here, I feel like it was meant to be. So yeah, big Scotland Yard party here. I met Mike 6 years ago at the yard with M, and he was just such an amazing person. I'd never been to New York before, so I remember when I went for the first time, he made me a really long list about what bodega to go to and what kick-ass punk rock bar to go to, and I had the best time because of him. And so that being said, he's inspired me to move to New York. So he probably had the best music that I've ever heard. He's introduced me to so many amazing bands just with talking to him for like 10 minutes. His art, as you know, was insane. And I'm a big art person, so I'll tell you if you suck or not. But he was just such a, like Kayla said, a passionate, artistic, and will literally buy you a beer if you don't even know him. So pretty much, I just want to say, Mikey, there's so much love in this beach right now for you. So much love, and you're a great fucking dude, man. You're a great sound guy. And we really lost a good one. We really did. I just want to say thank you for everybody that showed up and showed your support, especially for Kayla, the family, Mike's family, everybody just really, really came through. It just shows me and everybody that when the village comes through, when something like this happens, we
Mike D, eager, driven, loving, genuine, handsome, caring, funny friend. These are things that come to my mind when I think of Mike D. Truth is, there's so many good things you want in a friend. We all had made a list to explain what a good man he was. It'd probably be a small book. Like everyone has said in the microphone, he wanted to get it. I remember the first day I met Mike D. He walked in the Scotland Yard. I think Martin was bartending. It was him and Emily, and I was sitting on the bar, because if anybody knows me, I was a barfly for many years. And I'm sitting there by myself, and I look over to my right shoulder, and for some reason I felt this energy off this man. And I know it was good because I have that same energy. It's something that you know someone, they want it, they're gonna get it. And he told me, he said, yeah, you know, my name's Mike and I just moved to New York. We traveled up here with the dogs and my girl was Emily at the time. And you know, we're looking for work. And I was like, you know what, dude? There's a lot of opportunity out here and if you want work, you will get it. And he said, yeah, I know. From that day on, Mike D became my best friend. He looked out for me, gave me rides, and made sure I wasn't dead in the driver's seat. Because I used to drink a lot. And he always made sure that I wasn't sleeping on my back or fucking the ignition was on and my dog didn't suffocate or something. Because I was neglected in a lot of things in life. And Mike D did help me realize those things because he would be the first one to tell me, no, dude, you're fucking up. You need to like take it easy. And you know, unfortunately, I had to figure that out my own way. But in all that time that I was gone, my dear friend, he was always looking for me. My dear friends, who probably you don't know, he used to call them every month to see if I was alive. When I got back and got my shit straight, I went to him and I told him how much I loved him. And he expressed to me how he loved Kayla and that they're very happy. And I saw he was making his weed candies and all this. And I'm like, you know what? That's right, dude. Get the money any way you can. He built a bike for me. This guy was a mechanic on anything. Keep learning. Didn't matter how many times it took him that motorcycle or my bike that he made to a two-stroke engine on it that shitted out every week. No matter what. And it was the coolest thing because he'd be like, Chris, I got it running. Come over. And I come over and I get on it and I'm going down Irondale. And then it'll trap out on me and he gets so mad. He gets so mad. Oh, I got it. I can't do it. And I'm like, Mike, you're my buddy and I know you can do it. It's all good, man. Don't stress yourself out for it, you know? But he was just, he stressed out a lot on everything. You know, as Californians, we have to work a lot to get by. And it just goes to show that anybody can come here and do it. If you want to get it, sell your cheesecake, sell whatever. If you have a business aspect, do it. And first, as far as most of what I should have said is thank you, Joe, and thank you so much for making this man that, I mean, I'm telling you that I surround myself around beautiful. My heart goes out to you. I'm going to Caleb. My heart goes out to you and how you're dealing with it. She knows you love him. He'll be there for you. We'll see him in the spirit realm. We'll ride on the motorcycles with my kids to celebrate my kids' life. Woo! Don't cry. Cry happy tears. Because that's what you want. It was great. I just want to say after all that, my team, thank you for caring for me. My good times, my dark times. You never gave up. You never gave up on me, and I never forget that, brother. I love you, brother. I hope to see you in the spirit, bro. Thank you.
I have one more thing to say. Okay, as much as I don't miss this, but miss this now more than anything, is him waking me up at 5, 6 a.m. in the morning when everyone knows I'm not a morning person with all of his ideas. What can we do? How are we gonna do this? And I'm like, get me my coffee first, and then we'll go over it. And taught me, if you're gonna ride a motorcycle, you better damn learn how to build one. And made sure if I'm stuck on the road that you're gonna know how to fix it on my own. So I learned a few things, alright? I forgot about that. That was him.
I found a poem called Immortality written by Felix
we have loved them truly. In our own lives, we can give them immortality. Let us arise and take up the work they have left unfinished. Mike started something with you, in you. Keep it alive. Keep working towards it. That's how you keep them alive in your work. I encourage you to help, support, and love those who grieve most. Allow them to cry, to hurt, but then to smile and to remember. Grief works through our systems in its own time. Your mourning will turn into dancing, your grief into joy, your tears into laughter. This is what Mike would want for you. At this time, let us take a moment of silence to remember Mike. Mike, we wish you well and thank you for being a part of our lives. We honor your life and we trust you will find everlasting peace. We will never forget you. Go well. And as we conclude, each of you has been given a white carnation or a sign a lantern. As each of you places a flower in the water, keep Mike in your mind and in your heart. And as you release the flower, just as you release Mike back to the earth. And when we finish his soulmate Mike, he spent his whole life to find Kayla Meltzer, who scatters ashes, thus returning him back to the world that led him to us 44 years ago. So you can take your incarnation.
Miss your voice, miss your smile, everything about you worth the while. Always wondering where you are. I hope you're with us, near or far.